They say that limbo is a world made from memories of the dead, and memories can be treacherous. Sometimes I only see glimpses of mine. And sometimes I remember too much. I remember your face, and I'll do whatever it takes to see you again. We just have to wait a little longer until this job is done. Now to find this cursed king. Damn it. Gotta move quicker than that. More of those old west buildings. Looks like even this part of limbo changed. Just like I was. What's this? Valerie will know. Cartel, or at least their cannon fodder. They said these are just cold and lifeless soul fragments. Not even people anymore, just twisted shadows. Well, that sure as hell doesn't look like the Old West, which means the king must be nearby. this place? Huh. It's something I can build. Something that'll help. Leave those souls alone.
Well, an envoy of death in our domain.
It's not your domain, and you know it. Stand down and withdraw your forces. First and only warning.
You take the souls back to your master. The rest of you, kill him.
bless me soul, an envoy of death. Or, like I says in this business, a customer. Welcome to Deadeye McGee's Emporium.
Wait, you're a pirate?
I see your master recruited ye for your wits. Aye, Corky Deadeye McGee, at your service.
What is a pirate doing in the middle of the Old West?
He didn't think old Limbo was just some puffed-up penny-waste version of the New World, did ya? There be other parts, lad, like the sea, and other places. There be more in the depths of Death's realms than ye might know, or want to know.
That doesn't answer the question of why you're here. Are you working with the cartel?
Those scurvy dogs, nothing but trouble, I tell you. Besides, I might sell me mum to Davy Jones, but at least Davy Jones pays. Those brainless blighters don't know what they're carrying. But them that fights them now, there's an opportunity for coin. And I always had a nose for opportunity. Till it fell off, of course. So I loaded me cargo, hoist the sails, and followed me nose up here.
I see. And, what's your nose telling you now?
That's the other gent willing to part with your coin if it gets you something handy. Why not take a look at me wares? A little gold will get you all manner of useful trinkets from the depths of Limbo.
You realize the gold isn't real, right?
Aye, but what's a pirate without his chest of doubloons and pieces of eight? Now, see what I can offer.
All right. Thanks.
Pleasure, lad. Looking forward to doing business with you.
nothing here. Spoke too soon. Oh, this looks bad. Back again. Des?
Soulslinger. The souls.
Ah, right.
This essence is heavy with souls of the dead. The cartel grows bolder.
Yeah? Greedier too.
Some of these souls are prepared to cross over. I must bring them to the gate before restoring the others. Follow.
An eternity of this. But it'll be worth it. Lady Valerie.
Soulslinger, welcome back. So, first glimpse of the parts of Limbo under cartel control. How was it?
Oh, different from here. Compared to this, you wouldn't think they were both the same afterlife.
They're not. Not really. Haven is quite unique thanks to death. As for Limbo, you'll get used to it. It's always getting twisted by the will of the souls within. Particularly the overzealous.
You mean like the cartel?
Or its head. You should probably go see Death.
Oh, any idea what this is?
A tear of oblivion. Raw spectral energy. We can use those. Just add it to the Well of Tears. You can enhance your envoy abilities with its waters.
Thanks, Valerie.
Lady Valerie. And you're welcome.
What are you doing?
Soul souls must be whole to cross over to the other side. If these are undamaged, they may pass through the gates when they are ready, or stay here until then. Souls that are broken no longer have that choice. Any damage, any scarring, and the gate is barred to them forever.
Yeah, I know.
The sooner this cartel is dealt with, the fewer souls they will endanger with their harvest.
Then I'd better get back out there.
I will activate the portal back into limbo. Make your preparations to depart. That is the 18th time you have tried that. I fail to understand why you think this attempt will be any different.
Hope this means I'll do better out there. So, where am I going to next?
Back. Your assignment is not complete.
Flashes are happening again. Same as last time. Who was that? Why can't I remember? Wonder what this place was like before the cartel.
Soulslinger.
Dad, what are you doing here? Didn't you say limbo was off limits for you?
For sustained periods, yes. Hence my need for envoys. But occasionally, it's worth the effort to visit and offer assistance. Which brings me to you. I've been watching your progress. Satisfactory, but I believe you may need that assistance sooner rather than later.
Well, I don't know about... Wait, you're watching my progress?
The envoys of death are always under my gaze. Wherever they go, whatever they do, whatever they see, I see as well.
So, no matter what I do, you're always watching me. Great. So, what's this assistance you were talking about?
A temporary infusion of my power. It will provide you with further strength and abilities. Once you become accustomed to it. Before that, you may find it a temporary hindrance.
To deal with the downside, huh? Why does that sound familiar? I'll take it. Thanks for the help. Any other assistance you can give me?
No.
Sorry I asked. does the cartel keep making more of these? Damn it. Hey, little one. Oh, shh, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. Where'd you come from, anyway? Guess that makes us neighbors, then. Huh. What's your name? Is something wrong? I'm so sorry. You can't speak. Who did this to you? Who's there? Oh, hey, wait! Huh. Mind if I join you?
I have to get back in the field after I'm finished with this.
So, what does death have you doing anyway?
You don't think the cartel goons are the only threats to souls out there, do you? Limbo's a very big place, and there's always someone ripping open souls for power because they want more.
There was a little girl hanging around in the path when I got back. What's her deal?
I know the child you mean. She visits sometimes. She's been here a while. Helen. Her name is Helen.
Well, I'll leave you to it. Now, how to use these? Any upgrades? I remember waking up after you put me back together. It's still the first actual memory I have of being dead, other than those flashes I keep having.
That is to be expected. Consciousness and memory improve when a soul's form is stable, or when its injuries have healed further.
Not fast enough, if you ask me. Still, I owe you for saving me, even if it might have just been to get another envoy in your service.
It was not. I would have healed you regardless, as I've healed all these other souls roaming here.
Including the little girl.
Yes. I have a duty to the souls of the dead. One I take very seriously. Continue your mission. Infiltrate. inform me at once if your flashes reveal new memories. Otherwise, for your own safety, I'd refrain from pursuing them any further.
An envoy in my realm. An ill-bred one, too. You should be using the trade entrance.
And you are?
I am the Countess of Ridgeledge. Last in the line of Ridgeledge.
Uh-huh. Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Ah, yet another upstart who's forgotten the rule.
I'm not sure I follow.
Something my father taught me as a girl, and his father before him. It started in the schoolroom, learning about the creatures of the wildest Africa. Then repeated in every single aspect of life and death. You see, there are lions, and then there's the lion's prey. Other animals there for the lion to feed on. That's their role. Their job. The rule of the wild, my dear envoy, is that some of us are lions. And some of us are not.
Terrific. Not sure I'll ever get used to this. Is death always, like that?
No. Occasionally, he's worse. You get used to him.
So, what happens if an envoy doesn't want to do this anymore?
If they have rendered appropriate service, they are free to leave. You have not yet rendered that service.
How's the stockpile doing? The sync memory. The moment I changed. The moment I lost my real name. That's dirty work.
You're aware of how this works.
Something, I guess. How does the Cartel keep making more of these? Back in this, whatever this is. So, Death gave you a title like mine, right? How come you never use it?
Because it's not my name. I didn't pick it. I don't get control over much here, but I have that much.
Oh, this is how envoys train.